Alrighty, folks, welcome into today's breakdown. Todd Monken just recently hired as the Georgia Bulldogs' new offensive coordinator. We'll be working our way back through his time as an offensive coordinator at several different locations, starting with the Cleveland Browns. Then we'll go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then we'll go back to Southern Miss, and then we'll go all the way back to the glorious Brandon Weeden days at Oklahoma State. But before we do that, before we get into this Todd Monken before we get into this Todd Monken breakdown, just want to get the business out of the way. If you guys don't mind, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit the share, hit all that good stuff. Send it to Facebook, send it to Twitter. If you enjoy what we're going to be doing in today's breakdown, if you enjoy what we've already been doing on the channel, show us some support by doing that. Also, show us some support by running on over to Sports Illustrated's Bulldog Maven and check out all the fine print work we're doing over there. That's si.com/college/Georgia. And if you don't mind, follow me on Twitter as well at Brooks Austin SI. I'll throw all that up on the screen for you if you haven't noticed already. But yeah, man, we're going to be doing a deep dive tonight on everything that Monken does, the little things he does as an offensive coordinator to help his guys win, and we'll do some formational breakdown, tell you what he does and likes to do personnel-wise, and all that good stuff. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in, and without further ado, we'll get into the breakdown of Todd Monken and what he's going to bring to the table in Athens. All right, shout out to the homies over at Sharp Football. What we're looking at here is just personnel stats, how often they were in each personnel group. And this is 11 personnel. It's one back, one tight end. Obviously, you see 3 wide receivers in that formation. In 2017, as Todd Monken as the head OC and play caller, they were in 11 personnel 54% of the time. 12 personnel, that's one back, 2 tight ends, a lot of what Georgia ran this year, 31% of the time. All the other stuff is pretty much an anomaly except for what looks to be one back and 3 tight ends. How about a real nice heavy set there in 2017? So about a 50-30 split, we'll call it, 55-30 split right here between 11 and 12 personnel. All right, we're going to scroll up here and take a look at the 2018 numbers for Tampa Bay. A pretty similar split, 58% in 11 personnel, 24% in 12 personnel. So about 55-25 that year. And if we jump over to 2019, sorry, I'm not showing you the whole entire screen. Let's let that load. If we flip over there in 2019, he was in Cleveland. So let's isolate those numbers. In Cleveland, they ran 41%. 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, one back, one tight end, 36%, 12 personnel, and then varied a little bit all the way throughout the rest of them. So pretty much a chameleon when it comes to personnel groupings, just based off what the team has available on the roster. After watching a handful of games from Todd Monken's offenses, one thing that stands out is he's pretty much a chameleon in terms of an offensive coordinator. Look, the Cleveland Browns had 2 really good running backs after week 6 this year up there in Cleveland. One Kareem Hunt and one former Georgia Bulldog, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb damn near led the league in rushing this year. Now, when you have 2 good running backs, what should you do? If they're 2 of your better players, well, it's something that's been talked about at Georgia. You should try to put them on the field. And this 2-back set did Cleveland a lot of good and took a lot of pressure off their quarterback who struggled in his second season. But this is a good play design, and it's one we've seen at Georgia before, but without the screen, okay? We've seen this kind of motion and action from Georgia offenses, okay? We start out in empty. We move to a 2-back set. Look, they started in empty, moved to the 2-back set, send Chubb in motion this way, fake play action this way, slip the screen, okay? A lot going on for a defensive mind and a linebacker to have to deal with. Look at all the commotion. Look at all the pre-snap talking. Let's start it from the top again. Okay, everybody's got to figure out where to line up again. Okay, we're splitting Jarvis Landry back out. We got Odell Beckham up here at the top of the screen. There's a lot of weapons going on. We appear to be in man-to-man. Okay, now we got pre-snap motion again with Chubb going out. Look at the movement from the linebacker. We just lightened the box a little bit. He's now non-existent. Okay, and then we take one of our best screen and rollers right here in Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt did a lot of this at Kansas City. Use what you've got and use the tools you got. Look, now we got a hat on a hat. Should be 2 for 2. Kareem Hunt on the deep safety, who's now 22 yards from the ball carrier. Okay, it doesn't turn out that way. Kareem Hunt has to make a guy miss, but still a successful play here on 1st and 10. They pick up 9 yards and an easy completion for the young quarterback early in this football game. Here's a look at it from the top. Take a look at what all this motion does to these two linebackers in particular. You're just trying to lighten the load and empty the box out. Watch the motion initially. Oh, he slides. He's now out of the box like we showed you. And even after the snap, he's hard bailing because he's got the eyes on the quarterback. So well-coached quarterback at this point as well. He's got his eyes. Hard pump fake. His hips are flipped already. We got the back out into the space. Should have been 2 for 2. Way to make a man miss right there and get upfield. Here's some more of this two-back set here in Cleveland this year. And before you get on me and say, Brooks, Todd Monken didn't do any of the play calling. Yeah, but he probably did a good bit of the play designing. Otherwise, why are you, an offensive coordinator in the NFL? So I'm going to just go on with the assumption that he had a little bit to do with the design and whatnot of this offense. But this is just an impeccably designed football play out of this double back motion and just an easy reception. Just a little, just to preface what's about to happen. It is 2nd and 16. They gave up a sack on the first down right here. But, you're going to get good, hard action. And look, they're just slipping Nick Chubb right here into this little hole right here and just going to flip him a little quick, little screen. Going to slip one tackle out there. And we'll get a better look at it from the tight right here. Let's call this tight view. Look, good alignment again. Look at the alignment difference. Okay, these are subtle differences that defenses probably aren't going to pick up because the game's just moving too fast. They're watching too much going by their face right now. Kareem Hunt's gotten almost outside the box here with his alignment, and Chubb's tightened his down just a little bit. This would make one believe that they might be running inside zone this way. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to fake the action hard and watch what happens to the backers. Okay, this guy's already identified what's happening. 58 says, I'm leaving the box now, before the snap even happens. This is Brandon Hicks right here. He's identified it. He's going to get outside leverage right now. I'm going to run with the back. I'm in man-to-man. Well, guess what? Now we're going to slip Nick Chubb in right here, and boom, easy reception because Chandler Jones is playing the sack. And guess what? Now we're slipping the tackle out as well. We should have one-on-one, and we should have a good play right here, and we do. Just an easy reception for your tailback right here, and another easy completion for your quarterback, and a well-designed football play. Minor coaching point alert, just to give you a heads up. There's a lot been said this year about, Georgia getting in bunch situations. Well, we've seen Georgia this season get into a trips bunch right here at the top of the screen. They felt like they needed to do that because teams were giving them man-to-man coverage, as you see across the board here. Cleveland's locked up in man-on-man. Got a lot of this, and they felt like they didn't have guys that necessarily could win 1-versus-1. Now, what you can do to help your guys win in one-on-one, and O.J. Howard's been one that came into the league with a lot of expectations and hasn't quite lived up to them, especially for fantasy owners for the most part. But this guy can win if you give him the opportunity to. But another thing is, you'll notice right here, this is another minor coaching adjustment. Look, instead of asking O.J. Howard to line up down here at the bottom of the numbers, what they've done is they've shrunken down his alignment here in this man-to-man coverage and put him just a yard or so inside the numbers. Typically, you see outside receivers like Deshaun Jackson up here at the top of the screen line up outside the numbers. Here, the whole reason this is because O.J. Howard's running a fade down here, a deep go right here at the bottom of the screen. And what you'll notice is it's going to take him a while to get on top of this corner. And in fact, he never really creates that much separation. But when you stack his alignment at the top of the numbers, look, he's gotten probably a lateral 4 or 5 yards now to this point just to get to this little amount of separation. And guess what? He's still got 4 or 5 more yards here left to be thrown away from this defender. And you've seen the ball's already released at this point. Ball, I think, is about right here. Jameis Winston rips it so hard you can't quite see the ball in the air. But nonetheless, you're going to see, again with the nonetheless, you're going to see O.J. Howard fade out into this football, and the only reason he has the room to do that right there, and he's not on the sideline already, is because of a minor coaching adjustment where they put the guy inside the numbers, not outside the numbers. Was asked on social media today how, Todd Monken's going to do, if he's going to do things differently, what's it going to do to Matt Luke's system and how he calls plays, well, or, how he wants to, block up front with the offensive line. Well, you get a good look at it right here. This is a play that Georgia's already ran. We've shown you in film sessions previously. This is called naked toss. Georgia does it out of a bunch situation, and we'll show you here in a second. But this blocking scheme that Monken's got installed here with the Tampa Bay Bucks in 2018 is a lot more congruent with what Matt Luke wants to do. So here you get to take a look at it. You're going to see a lot more pulling, and this is just great from Humphreys right here. He's noticing a little bit of alignment adjustment and just fixing it pre-snap. Now, not a successful play necessarily, but you're still getting to see, and shout out to NFL Game Pass. This is what I love, man. We get coaches film right here. Look at the breakdown. But see all the pulling, guys getting out, being athletic. Now, look, big guy right here. This is the center pulling right here. This is good stuff. I would imagine Trey Hill could, summon this kind of athleticism if you were asked to do so. But he almost takes a tumble. But anyways, you get to see this is Matt Luke all day. He loves to do this kind of stuff. Get big guys out on the edge, get them moving, make them athletic. And Georgia runs this naked toss. We've seen this play before too. This is just Ronald Jones trying to capture the edge. Again, they don't really get it sealed because this outside linebacker corner, somebody comes in here and blows this up all to bits. That outside linebacker right there, safety playing in the box. It's just a good play by him. Sometimes defenders, man, they can make a lot of money too. They can make big plays as well, okay? And they can get in there and blow this stuff up. Right from the edge, right there, wham. That's playing physical and attacking the line of scrimmage. But this is Todd Monken right here. This is what he likes to do, okay? And he's okay with pulling guards, as is Matt Luke. So the question was asked. I felt necessary to address it as soon as it popped out, especially a play like this that both offensive coordinators in James Coley and Todd Monken call. All right, same play here, technically. It's blocked differently, though, but that's the point of what we're showing you here. They're running naked toss now into the boundary, and instead of the two wide receiver set like you saw at Tampa when Todd Monken was running that naked toss with Ronald Jones and Jameis Winston, they pulled it, right, down, and around. We just showed you that. The center pulled, and I believe the play side guard. But here now, we've got two tight ends here for Georgia. This is the way they ran it last year. I would venture to say they'll start to do this with more space and a different personnel. Now, what you will see is the blocking scheme's different. They're going just down here with the offensive line, and they're getting the two tight ends out into the set and getting these guys out here matched up in one-on-one situations, which is all fine and dandy. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, as they say. But I would venture to say if this is going to be Todd Monken in the future, he's just going to get everybody out there. Why not? Why send these guys away from the party? Why not send them to the party? That's the little slight difference between, what James Coley had going on and will still have going on as he remains on the staff, and what might the future look like in terms of a little bit of blocking schemes. But that's not what we're here for. The guy's a passing game guru, and that's mainly what we're looking at tonight. All right, minor coaching point here. This is just great identification. And I don't know, this may be, all across the NFL, guys are this kind of smart. But these little coaching tips, these little things that offensive coordinators and offensive line coaches and coaches in general do for their guys on the field, little small coaching adjustments that help the game out really, or, help these guys to succeed really well. So, they're running inside zone right here on goal line. And what we've seen on film all year long from the University of Georgia is when they run inside zone, it's all big boy football. It's all strain your neck, and drive these guys off the ball, including the backside end. And we've always see them, at least we have on the film, leave this last guy unguarded as the read man, right? And someone who's supposed to be responsible for the quarterback if the quarterback is an option with his legs. Well, Jameis Winston's not necessarily a design run option when it comes to his legs. So what does Todd Monken and his offensive staff do? They tell the end of the line tight end right here, hey, look, we're in goal line right now. These guys have been told all week, do not get beat by O.J. Howard or Cameron Brate down on the goal line. Do not let them there. The primary weapon in the offense alongside Mike Evans. Mike Evans is number one. You stop these guys number two. Look at these guys. These guys' eyes are locked on this tight end. This is good coaching right here because watch what they tell the tight end to do and watch what happens. They send him on an outside release, and guess what? He's better. He's good. He's well coached enough. Sorry for skipping the screen on you. He's well coached enough to snap his head around. Watch what these two guys do when this guy releases. And look at the hole it creates. Good Lord, sorry, I keep trying to hit the space button to pause it. But look at the hole it created back there. Watch. In slow-mo. How about that? Shout out to NFL Game Pass. Look, this guy's in man-to-man coverage. Look at those eyes and look at that backside cut. Wide open now. And this guy was designed. This play's designed for a backside cut. That tailback knows that. Okay, goal line, inside zone. Always take the backside cut. Not always. Read your keys first. Be coachable first. But, just a coaching point right here. They know O.J. Howard's not necessarily the greatest end of the line blocker, though he can do it. So let's send him on an outside release. Let's let these guys in man-to-man coverage, keep their eyes on him and flow with him. And guess what? If he doesn't and if he wants to play the run, we've got man-to-man situations down here, and we'll attack it next time we're in the red zone. All right, now take a look at the situation. 3rd and 20. They're down by 22 points here in the fourth quarter. In Georgia history, right here at the 22-yard line under the era of Kirby Smart, you might see, a play like a lead draw right here, halfback draw. We've seen that numerous times at the University of Georgia this past season. Lived for the field goal, right? We got Rodrigo Blankenship, or at least they had Rodrigo Blankenship. This is automatic 3 points. Probably lived to fight another day. Not Todd Monken, not at Southern Miss, not in the quote-unquote air raid system. Okay, got a cover 4 shell right here. Corners off down here. Corners off down here. Middle of the field is open. You see that right there? So what they're going to do is they're going to send the number 2 receiver right here in the slot on a deep, little post route right here. Drive on to the top of the safety. Step on his toes. Snap in. Will hit you as you break in into this middle of the field open right here into this cover 4. Okay, 3rd and 20, Nick Mullins rips the football right in for a touchdown. How about that? Again, in previous eras at Georgia, and I'm not saying this is they're going to be doing this this year, 3rd and 20, they still might be running draw because Kirby Smart might still tell them, hey, protect the football. Let's not throw it. Let's get the easy 3 points. Live to fight another day. Not here. Not Todd Monken. Not right here in this system. Push onto the safety. Break it off. We'll hit you. Touchdown. Also not to be overlooked right here. Let's take a look at the back cut. ESPN is going to provide us a great look at this touchdown pass right here. Okay, watch Nick Mullins. Okay, watch him. Okay, he's set dead middle. Okay, he knows he's working over here. He knows this guy's going to pop over into the screen right about, in a couple of seconds. But we're going to set to the middle of the field. Keep this linebacker preoccupied and on the hash, okay? And then once we see him, set him, boom. Now we're going to get set and get our feet occupied or our feet aligned this way to throw this strike of a football right there. Now, granted, it's little, right? It's small, but watch how small the window is he has to throw this ball into. And look, that linebacker almost gets his hands on that football. If the quarterback is not coached to keep that guy and set center and down this hash, then this linebacker is going to follow his mechanics because watch him. Once he sets here, boom. What's this guy doing? This guy's now starting to fade and drift into this way. Had he off the snap set his feet and set his alignment to this side of the field instead of open center, then this guy would have drifted and, probably gotten into this throwing window and knocked this ball down. All well coached, all well designed. It's good coaching right there and a good execution by Nick Mullins. That's why he's in the league. How about this play design right here from one Todd Monken? What you're going to see, a little motion right here. It's a man-to-man identifier, right? Corner rolls down. That guy traveled with the motion man. We're going to put 3 receivers down here to the bottom of the screen, all into the boundary Meanwhile, we got a tight end up here split out by himself. All fishy stuff, right? This doesn't really make sense. Why would you put a tight end? He's wearing a 4 on his jersey. I bet he's used to blocking. What's going to happen? Well, we're going to act like we're running a slant here. Offensive line all cut blocking. Mullen's going to open up to the boundary first. Watch his eyes right here. Going to pump fake, roll out backwards, and slip Ito Smith right here into the formation and into the field, all while this guy is blocking. Why is he blocking? Well, because the tailback is behind the line of scrimmage. He's allowed to block down here, okay? And now look at all that open spacing, green grass on an easy, well-designed screen pass. Look, that ain't hard work for anybody except for the defense out here. Okay, all this down here, send in motion, snap, fake the screen down to the bottom, slip a really talented football player in Ito Smith out into the boundary or into the field, and we've got an easy run or catch and run in a possession where we needed it. Good Lord, look at Ito Smith. Holy smokes. This is why this guy's in the NFL. Look at that. Okay? But there's talented backs at Georgia too, right? I mean, there's a load of them. Okay? And this is just getting one of your talented guys an easy touch and designing him open, which is very, very important in college football. But, they've got 2 pros on this roster, 3 of them, matter of fact. Nick Mullins is an NFL quarterback, a backup right now. Ito Smith, NFL running back, plays for the Falcons. And there's another guy on here by the name of Jalen Richard, who's an NFL back as well. Okay? Well designed, and all these guys got into the NFL off of Todd Monken's system. And, of course, their skill set. But a lot of it has to do with him scheming them open and getting them big yards after the catch right here. And this is all Richard after this point right here. But, it's good play calling of getting a playmaker like this, the ball in his hands in open space. How about Nick Mullins down there trying to get a block? Good play design, good play. Oh, it's a real deep dive at this point, baby. We're all the way back in the Brandon Weeden, Oklahoma State days. We showed you earlier tonight the offensive coordinator getting his guy a chance to win based solely off of alignment and personnel grouping and whatnot. What you're going to see here is Justin Blackmon. I don't know if you guys remember him at Oklahoma in his college days, but this dude was an absolute monster. I'm talking about a target monster. No one more heavily targeted than number 81. When teams went in to face Oklahoma State, this was the big guy on the whiteboard. This is the guy they were told to not let beat them. So what are you going to do? You're going to put him on the single receiver side and let him run a slant against off-man coverage and give him the opportunity to win. All this over here is just window dressing. All we're trying to do is show numbers to the field. That way the safety rotation is over here. He's not occupied or not focused on Blackmon over here. We got 3 DBs over here worried about this trips formation, and we're just allowing our guy to have this entire quarter of the field by himself based solely off of alignment. Again, very, very simple things that an offensive coordinator is going to do. But if you want this guy to run a slant and you want this guy to win and all he's got to do is break a tackle and he's off to the races, the only way to do that kind of stuff is to give them proper alignment. Okay? And look how far he is. Okay? He's all the way out here about 3 or 4 yards from the out of bounds, and he's just going to run a quick slant. And guess what? I guarantee you Mr. Monken might have noticed that they send slot blitz to the boundary. Okay, they're running a little bit of zone out here, it looks like. They're running some type of, we'll have to play it out. We'll see what happens. Now, that's man-to-man coverage up there as well. But nonetheless, they see if they've got nubbed out here, a single receiver side, we got 2 defenders, you're probably an automatic go right here. He's probably identified that, so let's put him in it. Let's make him run the blitz, and then let's hit him right in the teeth of the blitz, and let's take it for 6. All minor adjustments, but that's what the coach is there for, is there to call plays and make minor adjustments to your offense and make them better. All right, so in conclusion, we've seen it all. We've shown you some Cleveland Browns clips, some Tampa Bay clips, some Southern Miss clips, and some Oklahoma State clips at this point. I think all in all, one thing that stands out amongst, all the other coordinators is this isn't a guy who has one set identity in terms of offensive schemes and offensive, his identity, if you will. What I think he does is he molds and shapes his offenses into, what is provided in terms of his talent pool. And I think that's a great sign, a sign rather of great coaching, is someone who can take what's given and maximize it and do well with it. Wherever he's been, whether it's Southern Miss, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, or Oklahoma State, his offenses have been rather explosive. They've, thrown the ball a good heavy bit, but they've also done a really good job of running the football. This is a guy at Southern Miss. In those 3 years, he sent 2 guys into the NFL at the running back position in Ito Smith and Jalen Richard, like we've shown you already tonight. So, all in all, I think Georgia got a really good play caller, a really good play designer, but more importantly, they got a coach who can take what is given and maximize the skill set that is provided. And again, I think that is the definition of great coaching. You're never going to try to fit – great coaches never try to fit square pegs into round holes. Cliche after cliche, I know, but it's what great coaches do. They take what is provided and they, and they use it to the best of their abilities and to the best of the abilities of the football team. So all in all, I think it's a great hire from Kirby Smart, and I think it's one that, he didn't necessarily have to do, but he's moving with the times. He's trying to get a little more modern, and it's not going to start with just an offensive coach, though. It's not going to start with an offensive coordinator change. It's going to start with a change in identity from Kirby Smart. If you're going to want to throw the ball, that means you're going to have to give up a little bit of that time of possession, and you're going to have to stop running the ball 33 times a game. So, it starts with the OC, but it really, really starts with the head coach and what he is going to do and what his mindset is. If he's going to loosen the reins and allow Todd Monken to do what he does best, then things in the future at Georgia is bright and explosive for that matter. Alrighty, folks, that is our film session for tonight. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you tuning in. If you will, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and share it to some of your friends. Man, heck, don't even have to be your friends. Share it to a neighbor. Share it to a loved one. We're all just here trying to learn. And if you guys have enjoyed what we put out on this channel, man, we appreciate it. If tell some folks. Word of mouth is the greatest advertisement. But otherwise, head on over to Sports Illustrated's Bulldog Maven as well. We got some good print. If you didn't find this video on an article anyways, go check out si.com/college/Georgia for all your latest and greatest Bulldogs information. And if you don't mind, follow us on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at BrooksAustinSI, and follow the website on Twitter at BulldogsSI. How about that? Pairing them up for you. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will see you next time.